Hello. Patricia O'Connor, Mr. Pelican, and Frida Reba Darcy here. I was a little zoomed in. I'm about a block from where I live, and this is the bay. That is like a rock levee or something that extends way out, way out, way out. Big time lens flare, way out. I have seen people walk that levee all the way to the end, and at high tide it goes in and out of water, so they're kind of to walk to the end. Sometimes they're like hopping from rocks to rocks. That's not something I was ever interested in wanting to do, but this is a park that used to be part of the Navy base. Now it's a little bicycle route, and there's a grove of trees here that are a mixture of pines and junipers and some of the local stuff, and it's really twisted and beautiful looking because of the wind that comes off the bay. And if you look down a little ways, you can see ships, and they are small craft, which are not so small. Those look like 100-footers to me. And then off in the distance, you can see the aircraft. Oh, sorry, USS Hornet, as I'm making people's lives miserable. So yeah, that's kind of a quick look as to where we live. Off in the distance, those I don't know how well that's going to read on here, but just back behind the ships, you can see some very large skyscrapers. That's San Francisco. Could just about, if this were just a path through there, I could just about walk there in about 45 minutes, I think. Maybe that's not right, but it's what it feels like. I think it takes longer to drive than it would to walk, because to drive there we have to go the opposite way, and then we have to do tolls and all that good stuff. But anyway, behind me where I was just showing was the Navy base, because that's why the USS Hornet is docked there. It's now a floating museum, part of our national parks, I think. And they take tours and do all of that. Off in the distance, way off there, that's the apartments that I live in. In between there, that's the kayak club is in there. That is the gymnasium. That's the high school next door. Sometimes we hear the baseball games that are, you can see the baseball backstop area over there. And there are tennis courts and a running track and a football field and all of that other high school accoutrement. I believe their team is the Jets, and they have, in keeping with an old military town, one of those mothball fleet jets sitting up on a pedestal like it was a model toy on a little pedestal stand in front of their high school, which, you know, that was cool. All we had was a really bad sign with some poor spelling at my high school. But there you go, kids today, they get jets. So that was just a little quick look at part of my neighborhood. I think the last time I did anything, I was farther down the beach showing some of our beachfront on the back side of our property. And this is just a little walk. I'm going to take it back out down. This is the road you would go down if you were going to launch a boat, and that would be the boat launch area there. There are some ferries that also leave here about every 45 minutes, and I think we may have heard their whistles a time or two in some of our videos that we've done. So that's what's going on there. On the trip in, I'm going to let this truck go. You go. I don't want to hold that thing up. Alameda County, which is where we are. Like I said, this was the kayak. There seems to be some little kayak storage here, and I hear those guys going at it. Also, there's miles of pavement out here, because part of this was the Navy base. If you were to look at it from an aerial, you would see a runway at the end of this little part of the island that dwarfs any other runway, be it in San Francisco or Oakland or any of those national airports. There's a runway at the other end of this island that puts all of those to shame. And as far as I know, it's a retired Air Force runway, but it looked like something where you could drop a shuttle if you needed to. Also, I once did a shoot, a black and white photography shoot around the Hornet one night, and found a rather interesting thing in the background of one of my photos, which is to say that I saw something in my photo. I'm gotta get untied from Frida. I found something in one of my photos that I had not seen when I was taking the picture. Yeah, so that was a few years, about a dozen years ago, I guess. But yeah, I've still got that little photo later. Also, the this is gonna make me come off like a kook. The fine folks at MUFON have a copy of that photo too. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna conclude this. I'm about 10 minutes away from anything else that would be interesting, and we don't need to be huffing and puffing during all of that part. But yeah, this was all Navy base before. Now they do autocross stuff out here. I hear race cars out here from time to time. Sometimes I see a fleet of little badass Subarus coming through, kind of like my car, but except I don't, I kind of pamper my car for the most part, And this fence, this is the fence where I found when I first got into bonsai. I kept finding great old trees growing along this fence, and I knew that they were already ripping it out in sections. So I had it in my mind that it would be cool to save some old stuff. And everything I tried to save, I killed. So I don't see anything growing along here that resembles that cool stuff. It looks like they went to some deliberate process to take out anything that had roots along their new fence line. But yeah, I always felt bad that I tried to dig something up to keep it from getting plowed up and then just killed it anyway. But other than that, I don't know if you can see it, but there's one little broccoli top sticking up above the fence line about 40 feet ahead of us. That is probably, yeah, I'm gonna hang in there until we get there. I want to show you this. It's pretty impressive. This road that we're on, this would have been the entrance to part of the Navy docks. I don't know which part of the docks this would have been. The dry docks was farther down about a quarter mile to our left. But this would have been one entrance, and where we're about to make a right, there used to be a guard check spot, you know, like Checkpoint Charlie or something, right? So we're about to make, where those houses are, that's the other side of this little right-hand turn we're about to make. And next to us is the previously mentioned high school. I think this part of it, if I'm not mistaken, unless they changed it, this is probably the ag shop, or not the ag shop, but the shop, and maybe the maintenance building. But this is what I wanted to show you right here. That's an olive. That's an olive. I cast a pretty big shadow and it's still nothing compared to this guy. Isn't that awesome? Okay, we'll call this that. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Frida and I are going to do something else that'll be a little bit more. I just thought it was a nice little break from the ponds to show you the neighborhood. And I'll probably do another video before the weekend's out. And thanks for watching.